protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Don't let COVID-19 spoil the fun for you or your family, so get a vaccine or booster. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, free for everyone, and are now available for anyone over the age of 5. Booster shots are also recommended for everyone 12 and older if it's been more than 5 months since your previous vaccination. To get more tips, schedule your vaccine, or get tested, visit ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine. That's ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 29. Thursday, a chance of rain and snow with a high near 37. And Friday, partly sunny with a high around 38. Tap, taste, and treasure at Vinaigrette. They offer the finest in extra virgin olive oils, white balsamic vinegars, wine vinegars, and more. Reintroduce yourself to all of the many flavors by tasting before you buy. Vinaigrette is located off 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis or at vinaigrettemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Katagita, all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Twin Cities Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Wow, we got a lot going on, and tomorrow we're going to have a special show, and it's going to be we're going to have our Jojo, the lawyer that was on last week, and she's going to be doing a whole show with me on the history and where we are at with Leonard Peltier and AIM and FBI's fight against American Indian movement and also all these crazy things. So tomorrow we're looking forward to that show. We're giving Gina and Wendy the day off, and well-deserved day off, but we're going to get them back on Friday. But you know, Wendy, we talk about Native issues and Native news, and right now Gina is up in the deep north, as Winona LaDuke likes to call it, fighting for our sacred ways, you know, our water, which is everybody has water, and the woods and the trees that are beings that we all hold sacred here on Native Roots Radio. So Gina, Thanks so much for being on. And let's hear your report today, because it sounds like you're doing, as usual, a lot of stuff. Welcome.
Miigwech, thank you so much for having me. Bonjour. Gina Peltier, Indigenous Cause, Makadewa, Makwa, and Dudum, Anishinaabe, and Dujinaba, Mikanakwaji, and Niniwag. Hey everyone out there, Gina Peltier here. I am Black Bear Clan, and I am an Anishinaabe from the Turtle Mountain Pembina Band of Chippewa. And today, currently, I am in Walker, Minnesota for a community informational meeting event on the toxic Huber Mill, a wood processing factory that will harvest wood within the 100 miles of the Cohasset, Minnesota, including wood out of the Chippewa National Forest, and will negatively impact all 7 Chippewa tribes in northern Minnesota. This toxic wood processing plant could cause toxic rain when their pollution mixes with the coal plant pollution that is located nearby the proposed site of the wood processing plant. So today we are in Walker, Minnesota, and Annie Humphrey is actually hosting these informational meetings, and it's just quite exciting to be in such a strong woman's presence. And I'm so excited that she is doing this. So they are hosted by Annie Humphrey and Honor the Earth. There are going to be more informational meetings. Tomorrow we'll have another one in Cass Lake, Minnesota at the Cass Lake Facility Center Gym. And then next week, April 19th in Bemidji, Minnesota at the Northwest Indian Community Developmental Center. And then April 21st in Grand Rapids, Minnesota at the McCrosty Art Center. I hope I said that right. All the events start at 5:30 with dinner being served, and then there are speakers, time for questions, and then there are drawings and giveaways. So we also have that going on. So just even come by and eat some food. I know I showed up at 5:30 and they were serving taco in a bag, and I was first in line for food because I just love food, and I always think people are so shy just to even get up there. So like, hey, I'm not afraid. Let's eat, we swing, you know? So the meeting also focuses on information on the devastating effects of the Huber Mill, what the Huber Mill is, and the need to use sustainable building alternatives to poisonous OSB sheets the Huber Mill plans on making. So please take action to stop unnecessary poisonous destruction of our land and water. And to learn more about this project, go to protectmnforests.org. Again, that's protectmnforest.org. And another reason this is an important issue is that in the U.S., the United States cropland soil is eroding 10 times faster than it can be restored. And if this degradation continues, we could run out of topsoil in about 60 years. And we are losing so much topsoil because of deforestation, industrial activity, climate change, and intensive agriculture. And studies estimate that about 35% of Turtle Island has lost its topsoil completely, leaving lower carbon poor soil layers to do the work of supporting crops. You know, having thick, healthy topsoil means plants can grow faster and heavier, increasing crop yields and keeping the field's ecosystem running smoothly. So this is a serious issue, and we need to take action now as a community to make a new green revolution. I mean, we are capable of making a just transition to using better alternatives to everything we use to thrive in today's society. And, you know, like I always talk about, you know, why not hemp? I mean, hemp can solve all these problems we have. You know, hemp has the powerful ability to bring our soil back to life by absorbing that carbon and nitrogen out of the air and putting it back into the soil. Hemp can also pull the forever toxic chemicals out of our soil. And there are so many diverse uses for hemp, from fueling your car to making clothes, paper, and batteries. Hemp enhances soil health, and also, you know, the hemp steel can be 6 times stronger than regular steel. So I'm just flabbergasted that we just don't use hemp to begin with. With that being said, you know, the hemp production was banned throughout the United States in 1937 with the passing of the Marijuana Tax Act. You know, after centuries of being grown in Northern America for its fibers and all its uses, Hemp was banned in the United States because it's made from the cannabis sativa, the same plant species as marijuana. The ban was highly supported by cotton farmers and fueled by racists, and hemp is one of the victims of the war on drugs. But no matter how much hemp you smoke, you cannot get high off of it. So things don't need to be so hard. We should not be really in this situation right now, especially with what we had going on before. So, again, like I said, take action, you guys. And, in related news, it's being reported that the Biden administration is likely to invoke the Defense Production Act to address the shortage in minerals like lithium and nickel. And, hemp can also make batteries, so we don't need to be mining lithium. But this law enables a president to use loans, direct purchases, and other business investments. So this is a response to supply chain disruptions brought on by the Russian war with Ukraine. And invoking this act is wrong. It's a wrong solution to mineral shortages. Just reminding we can use hemp for batteries. The new mines and processing facilities simply cannot come about fast enough to address the supposedly urgent need for minerals. The Defense Production Act is a distraction intended to serve up favors to Biden's political opponents and a mining industry intent on picking up spoils from the Russian invasion. And this is not how we move forward with a just green new revolution. But so I just do want to end with some good news. The residents of Iqaluit have hopes of getting their water system fully operational with clean water. Iqaluit is the capital of Nunavut, Canada, with a population of about 7,700. Nunavut is Canada's largest territory and is about 84% Inuit. Canadian government announced $214 million for the city of Iqaluit, and I really hope I'm saying that correctly, to work on water infrastructure that has been in crisis for over 6 years. And so I really hope, that the Canadian government comes through for them, and, access to clean water is a right for everyone, and may the force be with them.
Yeah, awesome. Peeny Gigi, Gina, for the great updates. And really, thank you so much, Peeny Gigi, for what you're doing up there. Holding space is huge, as we know, and it takes time and it takes energy, and we really appreciate you coming on and speaking your truth. Also, I just want to say Annie Humphrey is an unbelievable musician, and look her up. She's got CDs galore. Hey, up next, Griselda with Alliant, Wendy. We'll be right back after this short break. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
We are your relatives.
We are your relations.
Brothers,
sisters,
sons,
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Bonjour, I am Oshawashko Gijig. I'm from Red Lake Nation, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Well, great read, Wendy. Griselda, welcome back. As always, it's really good to see you. And I don't know if you knew the update, but my wife, Wendy, is stuck in New York. She had COVID and she'll be back soon. Yes. So I'm here. I'm cleaning the house for anticipating her return. So just to catch you up with what's going on. And it's
Clean
great.
the house and make sure you don't leave lights on and things plugged in for too long.
Right. Hey, that's right. But we're happy to see you. We're just a little discombobulated here, but we're really happy to see you and check in with what great action Alliant is doing and the things that they're doing. And so welcome. And what do we got going here? I know I got a few points that I'd like to talk about, but I'd like you to just introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
Yes. So thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to see you both. And please stay healthy in New York. I think first and foremost, safety first, right? And health. And I think, we still continue to live in this hybrid world, right? That allows us to do these types of, if you will, shows. But I also feel like, we're not out of the woods. So taking care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually is equally as important. So my best wishes to you to get home safely.
Thank you very much. I'll be getting on the plane tomorrow.
Right? We can talk about work and we can talk about the great things we're doing, but we're humans first. So that's my first wish.
Peeny Gigi. She'll be home tomorrow. So again, excited a week later, but healthy, and she's walking the boardwalk. So I'm excited to have Wendy back. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the million trees. And I know when we really originally talked, you had brought that up, and I thought that was so interesting. Can you give us a little history and an update on that project that Alliant is working on?
Absolutely. So yes, last year we announced that we were looking to plant 1 million trees, hopefully more, in both of our service territories in Iowa and Wisconsin, and really looking at, right, how do we build a better earth for all of us, right? We know the beauty that trees provide aesthetically, but also what they do for the air, right, for the environment. And so we've committed to working with the communities that we serve to try to add not just aesthetics to the communities we serve, but also some of that clean energy that we're all looking to sort of foster and promote. And so we started that. We made the announcement last year, and we've planted over about 580,000 trees already in Wisconsin. And how, we're looking for partners, right? We also are mindful that we don't just want to show up to a community and say, here, this is what you need, right? And that's part of our environmental justice pieces too that I'm helping to lead, and I think our tribal partners are equally as important. And so we're beginning those dialogues, making sure that we're not overstepping and overreaching, but are seen as a community partner. And I think April has Earth Day, right? I think we're beginning to see spring. I know just kind of like the beautification projects that we do in certain neighborhoods, and so this kind of just adds a different layer where we're sort of just coming in to do something good, if you will, for the community. However, understanding that what types of trees, right? Who wants them? Who doesn't? I mean, all of that makes a difference. And I think those are beginning conversations that love to continue, not only with you, Robert, and your team, but just other community stakeholders that I think, sometimes we assume we know what people want. And we've talked about that, right? But we don't always know what people want.
Exactly what how does a tribe or a community get a hold of you? What's the process to get some trees planted in their area?
Yeah, so we have allianteenergy.com/1 million trees, right? And there you can kind of see a little bit more about the initiative. It's free cost, right? We just want to kind of come in and figure out, is this something of interest? And so a tribe could just go in, fill out the, if you will, information form, and then someone from our environmental team will reach out and begin that work. And, I think it's an exciting new project. I mean, 1 million trees sounds like a lot, but when you start divvying it up by 500,000, right, we're soon running out of trees to plant and then trying to get more in the communities.
And as you know, too, we are in Wisconsin, live in Milwaukee and Madison, and I think there's maybe some things you can talk about to our listeners about the spring, if we ever have really true spring here. It's still winter here in
Today
Minnesota.
is really cold and rainy, even though it was almost 70 this morning.
Right. Well, we have the energy assistance communications, and could you touch a little bit about that for our relatives in Wisconsin?
Yes. So as some of our listeners know, April 15th will end the moratorium, where people that were having trouble paying their utility bills, kind of that window of non-payment will expire. But we're, trying to be proactive to let our customers, or anyone really in the community, it doesn't have to be an Alliant Energy customer, because this is approved by the Public Service Commission, that the moratorium ends on the 15th. But to make sure that people don't fall too behind, right? Making sure that you can proactively call your utility to make either payment arrangements or ask for an additional extension. But if you log into also our website, alliantenergy.com, there's also LIHEAP dollars available, right? So that's low income dollars that is available to help you pay your bill. It sometimes just takes people the effort to apply for those funds, and they're there, right? And I think our job is to try to remind people that those bills are still there. We want to make sure they can manage them so that they don't get overly burdensome, but the help is there. And that's just my plug always, right? How do we make our communities better, more resilient? And Uncle Sam always comes knocking, whether we want him or not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wendy, do you have any questions? Hate to put you on the spot, Wendy.
No, that's okay. A lot of I know, like the energy company that we use to heat our house also has like a budget, so that you could kind of guesstimate what you're going to use for the year, and then you pay the same amount every month, because during the winter months you could get hit with really high energy bills, and if you kind of spread it out, or make it more reasonable every month, that could help a lot of people to have like a budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we are trying to be proactive. People to call your utility, right? The moratorium period ends this Friday, but you still have a chance to apply for LIHEAP dollars, right? And we have all of that information on our website. And that also, Wendy, to your point, if you're not even able to make that consistent monthly payment, you can apply for some funding that will actually pay some of that residual money that's still been sitting there, to make sure that when people commit to repayment, it doesn't add an undue burden, right? Because we need electricity, we need heat, we need air conditioning at some point, maybe, if we can get our weather right in Wisconsin.
Exactly. And then the tree thing is really awesome. And as you were talking, I was saying to myself, well, what kind of trees do they plant? Do they plant just one type of tree, or, many different variety of trees? And you kind of hit on the point that you are going to be putting all different kinds of trees. One of the trees that in our area right now, and they're cutting down all the trees because they have the ash.
Yes.
The ash worm in the tree, and now they're cutting down all these trees, and our neighborhood is really kind of looking barren lately, and it's kind of makes me sad, because I know that they're active squirrel nests in these trees, and me being the animal lover that I am, even the nuisance squirrels, they're gonna lose, they lose their homes too. So it's hopefully you guys will be planting real good, strong trees that won't be affected by any of those types of parasites.
That's always the hope, right? But I think the world as we know it is just evolving, changing. I mean, hello, COVID, right? The perfect example of something we never even thought would be able to wipe out so many communities, right? And affect so many communities in different ways, and really reshape the way we look at work, self-care, relationship building. So, right. So not to keep going to that, but it feels like it's inevitable to keep talking about it. But with the trees, to your point, right, it's not just the squirrels, right? It's also birds and just the environment, right? That there needs to be homes for all these natural, beautiful animals that continue to make our communities better, not just the humans, right? So that's always so I'm with you. My mom calls me the hippie, right? Where I'm like, I love it all. Earth Day is coming.
Well,
I love it.
we're gonna have Winona LaDuke on our show on Earth Day, so we're excited about that.
Oh, I'll
too.
have to tune in. I'd love to see her.
Yeah, definitely. Or come on in that day too. We're all celebrating Earth Day. Every day is Earth Day, and it's amazing. So we got a couple minutes here left, and I know I think your big I don't want to say job, but your what you do is really try to get out there to the communities, and especially our BIPOC communities, homeowners, and how to save energy. Do you have any quick tips off the top of your head? I know you can ramble them off for the next 50 seconds.
I think I sound like a broken record every time I come in, but I'll keep reminding people, sleep with your thermostat if you can at 68. Body temperature increases as you sleep. And so to save a little energy at night, if you don't need to be, have your kind of like your microwave plugged in or things, anything that you aren't using, unplug it. And I think I've said I'm notorious for always leaving just my phone charger plugged in, and then just when I remember, plug it in. It does suck up energy, and those we don't think it adds up, but it does add up. And I think the cost of energy is a little high right now, and so I think anything we can do proactively to save time, energy, and money, I think would bode well, so that people can enjoy the summer and have that disposable income to invest in themselves and their self-care.
Absolutely. And I think it's great to bring it up. And, we have you on once a month or so. And I think it's excellent to bring up those points again, because we all need reminders. Griselda, thank you so much for stopping in. Always great to hear you and your great energy. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back with the Solar Bear with the Solar News.
Stay with us. Thank you.
Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Hi, I'm Anna and I'm 8 years old and I'm getting my COVID vaccine. If you're between 5 and 11 years old, you can get vaccinated too. Getting the jab might seem a little scary, but there is lots of good reasons to do it. You'll be protected from COVID, and you'll be less likely to spread it to people like family and friends. Have your parents find a vaccination site by calling 651-304-9986 or visit vaccineconnector.mn.gov.
Hey, Minnesota, it's Brad Friedman, your friendly investigative blogger, journalist, troublemaker, and host of the Bradcast. Weeknights at 7 on AM 950.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. And we'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shambot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 29. Thursday, a chance of rain and snow with a high near 37. And Friday, partly sunny with a high around 38.
Don't waste hours figuring out how to pick up and assemble your own grill. Leave it to the specialists at Warner Stellian. Choose from the hottest new grills. Then don't pay a penny more for professional assembly, delivery, or haul away. Shop now at warnerstellian.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Well, it was really great to have Griselda on, isn't it? Just great energy and positive things to do for our listeners, especially in Wisconsin. But it's great reminders. We're still waiting for Robert Blake to get on. But Wendy, do you have a precursor to the sacred animals section? What you
I do. Well, I had quite an experience, and I witnessed something today that was really scary. A dog almost died. So I'm going to be talking about that experience and how you could help avoid it.
Wow, excellent. Great teaser. And, today is Wednesday, and it's Robert Blake with the Solar Bear with the Solar News. Welcome, Robert.
How's it going, Rob? How's it going, Wendy?
Yeah, good. It's going great. You sound a little pingy.
Yeah.
No, your internet, not your voice. Your internet's a little, yeah.
We'll have to get the aluminum foil off and stick it on that Wi-Fi antenna.
Oh yeah. Okay, I hear it now. Okay.
Oh, you're doing good now.
Oh, okay.
Good.
So hey, Robert, I got a really good story here. They're turning old oil gas wells into storage containers for solar farms. So they're using them like storage batteries. Yeah, they're using them as batteries, like to store the old abandoned oil gas wells, and they're turning them into devices to store to use them like batteries. So this is really cool, and this is a great idea how we could take old abandoned oil gas wells and make use of them for renewable energy instead of fossil fuels.
So what do they do? Is there a deep hole where they put these batteries in, or how is that how they do it?
Yeah, it's just like hydro. It's just like hydro energy. The way kind of like how it spins a turbine and it just creates a mechanism for it to create a turbine, and it's used as a storage device, and it's just gravity basically how they use to be able to store the energy that they're using from the solar that they produce during the day.
Yeah, excellent. And we really we talk a lot about, and I know you started talking about that when we first talking about batteries, is how one, the price is going way down, and two, there's a way to manufacture hemp batteries. Let's get on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are like some really excellent ideas. Hemp batteries, especially. And then Robert, if anybody out there would like to join the United States government and work for them as an intergovernmental affairs specialist for FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, the FERC is expanding their little department that deals with tribal energy, and I think this is really cool that they just put this job listing out today, because this means that they're going to be doing a lot of work with tribal country. And so they're looking for somebody who wants to work in energy and work with tribal nations. So I think this is a good sign that FERC is moving forward to work more inclusive with tribal nations and their energy plans.
Wow, that is great news. That is super news. What else do you got there, Robert?
And another thing I wanted to mention too, that so they're saying that that human beings are United States citizens, through the course of their lifetime, use 75 gigajoules, Robert. So that's how much energy we use individually through our lifetime, is what they're saying. 75 gigajoules is what.
Oh, it's up to gigajoule now. Huh?
Yeah. And so this is some research thing that has been done, and get this, Americans, right? This is what the average person uses in their lifetime around the world, 75 gigajoules. In the United States, Robert, Americans use 284 gigajoules of energy in their lifetime. So that China they emit the most carbon, right, as a country, but in the United States, Americans, we emit the most carbon, per capita, so per person. So I just think this is an interesting story, because we can all do something to reduce our carbon footprint, whether it's walking, whether it's biking, or whether it's recycling. Like, every person in the country can do something to reduce their carbon footprint, and that's what I'm encouraging here. So that's why I wanted to bring up this story.
Well, Wendy's done a lot of walking, right, Wendy?
I have done a lot of walking. Since I don't have a car here in New York, I just walk all over the place. So yeah. Yeah, we all could do a little bit. Every person doesn't have to do everything, but if everybody just did a little bit, it can make a big difference.
And then my last story here is Boston. The Boston School District is replacing all 700 of their school buses with electric school buses in Boston. Isn't that incredible?
That's awesome. We need to be doing that everywhere here, right?
I think so.
That's great news. That is great news. So, Robert, we got quite a few minutes here. I'm wondering if I could ask you a few questions. What have you been doing, and what have you been working on lately? Or can you talk about it? Because I know Solar Bear got that big grant from the Department of Energy, and I know you go and speak a lot to groups about energy. So, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've been working with the group out of Washington right now. We're working on carbon capture. And we're looking at getting a study put together, using some universities and doing some carbon capture. I think this would be really cool, Robert, if this could work. And it's kind of like you're taking carbon capture and you're putting it into rocks, and there's certain rocks that you can do it in. Yeah. And so that I've been working on that with a group of people, and then obviously Native Son got that really big contract, and we are going to be putting in charging stations all through Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota, and that's going to be very exciting. So, those are the things, I've been working on lately.
So let me ask you a question, because I don't have an electric car, but when I see these stations, like I've seen them at Goodwill, and I don't know, Wendy, I don't know, I've never really go to Goodwill that much, but there are oh, look at that look on her face. There are stations there. So a question is, if I have an electric car and I plug it in, now are they charging me for that juice? How does that work with charging stations?
Yeah, no, yeah, you get charged, and it ranges. I mean, it's like $12 probably to charge up your vehicle, and if you think about that compared to maybe it's like $30, maybe $35 to charge up your vehicle with gas, right? $30 maybe, maybe $40 now. I don't know. It's expensive, Robert.
Right. You have that hybrid, so you don't really know. You have that small little tank in your big car, and you don't need it. But Wendy needs it with her big car. Go ahead, Wendy.
I have a little car. But anyway, so these charging stations, do you just like swipe your credit card like you would at the gas pump, and then just put your
Yep,
plug
exactly.
your card?
ChargePoint.
Okay.
Yep, ChargePoint has
Wow.
where you can go ahead and use Visa. You can use your
Okay.
credit card up on there, and then
Mhm.
you can also go to these certain places and get a ChargePoint card, and you can also fill it up, and you know what I mean, and you can use it at these different stations or these different charging stations. Absolutely.
So what you're saying is you're going to get one of those cars and donate it to me, and then you're going to put a charging station in our garage. No,
We are actually getting 19 vehicles, Robert. We are buying 19 vehicles to deploy to the Standing Rock Reservation and the Red Lake Reservation, and we're going to monitor these electric vehicles and see how they hold up in this inclement weather that we always have.
Right. Well, and I think Ho Chunk Nation needs it too here in District 4, all the traveling we do. I'll be in Madison Monday, and I'm all over the globe, so I appreciate that. But in all seriousness, so if I had an electric car, could I set up an electric charging station in my garage?
You absolutely can, yes. And it's I just put an article on Facebook there that talks about that very subject and how easy it is to get it installed.
So we got, I imagine Nina, our great listener, put up a question there. How long does it take to charge fully? And I imagine it's a different size batteries, but how long is the average?
Yeah, I mean, if you put it in, a lot of people, they usually like to do it overnight while they're sleeping because, that's when, rates are a lot, lower, and of course you're not using your vehicle. And then the other part is like, it 2 to 3 hours if you have a fast charger. And then there's new technology coming out too, Robert, where they're saying it's going to be in like 3 minutes. So
Wow.
I'm really interested to see how this all comes about, but this technology just keeps on getting better and better every day, and it's all a part of the green revolution, just like Winona always talks about.
Yep, she does. And it's amazing. It really is amazing. Robert, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, and the positive energy, but also the updates, and keep us all and all our listeners keyed in on the green revolution, as you call it. We do need hemp batteries, and we need people like you that are seeing the future right now. So P&E, thanks for being on, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Solar News with the Solar Bear, everyone. Bye.
Hi, Juoni. Hey, Wendy, that was awesome. Robert Blake is awesome, isn't he?
He's great.
Yep. Hey, we'll be right back after this short break with our sacred animal portion. We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on site from the best coffee growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. For good stuff.
Children's Minnesota raises up children's health by raising the standards, hands, voices, the bar, the stakes, the questions, and the curtain on raising kids' health to the highest priority. With the most pediatric experts in the upper Midwest, we're setting the stage because kids need us, all of us. So let's raise them up so every kid can reach their best health. Children's Minnesota, the kid experts.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College will help you get where you want to go. Located downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, one-on-one mentorship, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality. Connect with a counselor today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations. Howl!
Oh! Wow. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife who will be home soon and we'll be sharing the same studio again. And we talk about our sacred animals and our sacred beings, as everyone with Native Americans and people with a good heart really appreciate the beings that we walk hand in hand. And so, Wendy, always a pleasure. You are like, again, the longest running segment in Native Radio history. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, everybody. Hi, my name is Hana Jihihani, and that means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. So I always like to thank Curtis for the meaningful name. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and that's always my pleasure to do that. I was, before the break, I told Robert, I gave a little teaser that, I'm walking around here in the neighborhood of Long Beach, New York, and of course there's dogs all over the place, just like in our neighborhood at home. Everybody seems to have a dog. But I was crossing the street and I'm watching this guy walk his dog across the street. And he has one of those retractable leashes, the ones that, pull out really far and the dog can go way ahead. So he's walking the dog up to the light where there's traffic. And instead of retracting the retractable leash, he lets it go longer. And I see the dog coming to the corner. The light's about to change. There's cars and they're ready to go. And I could just see this dog like running into the street with this long 26-foot long retractable leash. And I see the guy panicking, like you could see it in his face, that he wants to retract it, but he's letting it go. So he's grabbing the leash and he's pulling it back, by his hands instead of retracting it. And all I could say to myself was, oh my God, this dog just almost walked out into traffic and got hit by a car. And I know, Robert, when you and I walk a lot, I see people with these retractable leashes. I was never a fan of them because I could see myself doing that. Like, which button do I press to make it longer or shorter? And it would be like a panic, and it would just make me nervous. These leashes just make me nervous, but we do see them all the time. And our neighbor, who has since moved, always had a retractable leash, and I would see her running with her dog, and the dog would be, way out in front of her. And we have like alleys, so cars could just come out of the alleys. Um, when her dog's all the way up in front of her, and when people pull out of the alleys, it's kind of like blind, like you don't really know what's happening. And I just, I don't know, I just felt like
Yeah.
these leashes are just so dangerous. We just use regular leashes. I don't know if they're 6 feet or 8 feet long, but that's it. They have the hoop on the end of it. I put my wrist through it and wrap it around my hand, because I know that, our dogs will start lunging if they see other dogs. So, and it happens in a split second. And if you're not holding onto that leash, um, you could lose your dog. And there's actually a website, um, and it's written by the Heartland Animal Rescue Team, Heart, and they have a website here, and it says the 10 reasons not to use a retractable leash. And I
Oh,
wasn't
God.
surprised that there is somebody out there who was writing about the dangers of these types of leashes. If you do use these leashes, I think that you have to have a really good dog, that's gonna will stop when they're supposed to. I know, like our dogs, when we come to a busy corner, if we don't pull them back, they're walking right across the street. They don't know to
Yep.
watch and to stop for cars and to look both ways. Um, but there's 10 reasons here not to use this retractable leash. And number one, the length of the retractable leashes, some of which can extend up to 26 feet, allows dogs to get far enough away from their humans that a situation can quickly turn dangerous. A dog on a retractable leash is often able to run into the middle of the street, which has just happened, for example, or make an uninvited contact with other dogs or people. In the above scenario, or in which your pet is being approached by an aggressive dog, it is nearly impossible to get control of the situation if the need arises. It's much easier to regain control of or protect a dog at the end of a 6 foot standard flat leash than it is if there's 20 feet or so away at the end. At the end of that. It just is. The thin
Mhm.
cord of the retractable leash can break, especially when a powerful dog is on the other end of it. And I'm just going to say this: for our dog Wanda is what, maybe 10 pounds,
Yeah.
and she pulls me. She is very strong, little 10-pound dog, and she can pull me. So I can't even imagine if a big strong dog is
Right.
pulling. If a strong, good sized dog takes off at full speed, the cord can snap. Not only can that put the dog and whatever he may be chasing in danger, but also the cord can snap back and injure the human at the other end. If a dog walker gets tangled up in the cord of a retractable leash or grabs it in an attempt to reel in their dog, again, which happened to this guy, it can result in burns, cuts, and even amputation. In addition, many people have pulled right off their feet by a dog that reaches the end of the leash and keeps going. This can result in bruises, road rash, broken bones, and worse. And if you're watching us on Facebook, this is our little Wanda. She's a little black Shih Tzu, and she weighs about 10 pounds, and she's very strong.
Yeah.
Dogs have
Yes.
also received terrible injuries as a result of the sudden jerk on their necks that occur when they run out of the leash, when the leash ends, including neck wounds, lacerated tracheas, and injuries to the spine. Now, our dogs, we always have a harness on. We don't. She has her little leash on. It just holds her kind of her name
Mhm.
tag and things like that. But to walk, we use a harness around her body. Retractable leashes allows dogs more freedom to pull at the end of them, which can look like aggression to another dog who may decide to fight back. So, yeah, so if you're using a retractable leash, really best wishes. Just really be careful with these leashes. There's if you look up online, there's just like data on so many injuries and things that could potentially happen with these leashes. And our dogs, we walk fast with them, so I don't think that they are like. I don't think that they think that they're missing out on anything.
Oh yeah.
So, and they don't listen very well. So if I had to tell her to stop, I don't think she would if she was chasing another dog.
Yeah. Well, what's this portion brought to you by? We're about to check out right now.
Well, this portion was brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
I love it. Ho. All right.
Ho!
Ooh. Hey, Wendy, thank you as always. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Exactly. I want to thank Gina for stopping in, and also Griselda with the Lion Energy. Just great information. And of course, Bob Blake. If you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops. The ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
Free Leonard Peltier. Stop line 3.
Hey, Minnesota, I'm Rick Smith, host of The Rick Smith Show, and I want to